Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome on the weekly call for ErgoPartners. We're going to quickly just go through. I'm not going to reinvest today. I'm going to do a withdrawal. Let's do the screen share. Can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Good. There's a $2 withdrawal fee, so I'm going to withdraw $80. We go to withdrawals. Click on the withdrawal button. Spending wallet is sitting on 80, so I'm going to take out 75. Why is it giving me this error now? 75. There we go. TLC 20. I'm going to quickly pull the wallet address. Make sure that it is the right address. It's on NSG. That is the right address. And then you go initiate withdrawal. It's then going to ask you to check. So because of the USDT price variance today, it's only $74.98. $2 service charge, and then you say submit. And you get the blue screen. No reason to fear the blue screen. It's not one of those dangerous ones. And now you can see withdrawal $74.98. If you go back to your dashboard, I just need to move the zoom block the whole time. If you go back to it says there's $3 left. So I go to my mail. And the mail did not arrive yet. Right, let's go back to the website quickly. The dashboard is very easy to understand. That's your spending wallet. That's what you can withdraw. Remember the $2 withdrawal fee. So once you got $12, you can withdraw there, but I won't advise on that such small amounts. What I do now, the next time this reaches 100, I'm going to do a reinvestment, which we're not going to do today. That will be next week sometime. Important to understand how the website works. There's very interesting things on here. I've checked a little bit on the market page. And it gives you a video there and a few things you can check. You can go to pooling, and it explains you how pooling works. We'll do more about pooling. That is when you want to put amounts together as a group of minimum 2, maximum of 5 people. And then knowledge base is also a page that I know a lot of people don't look at. Go look, read here. Frequently asked questions concerning withdrawal. Withdrawal is easy, but here is what is cryptocurrency? What cryptocurrency do I use? And then it's going to tell you what you can use. And there's a long description here. Then you can go back. Always when you're busy on a website, go investigate everything. All right, this block don't want to move now. There we go. I'm going to just go back to the previous page. There's all the questions. Is there a minimum withdrawal amount? What is the withdrawal fees? How long does a withdrawal transaction take place? All those things are there. Right, I'm going to go here withdrawal request. You requested $74.98, so that one is done. I delete it. Otherwise, my inbox, and there it says withdrawal successful. It was not to my wallet address. I'm assisting somebody else to actually do their first investment, and it should be by now sitting in the wallet. That is how easy it is. Right. Next week, I'll do a reinvestment and show you how that one works. All the previous videos, we had Francis doing withdrawals, showing how it lands in the wallet. And we had Peter doing withdrawals, mostly in Dutch. And I did withdrawals and reinvestments on some of the previous calls. Remember, on the YouTube channel, the video will be slotted into the playlist for ErgoPartners. ErgoPartners got its own playlist. Very easy. Right, next, I'm going to ask a question or two today. Who on here is not yet registered on ErgoPartners? Just put your hand up or type in the chat if you're not on yet. Everybody on?
Hi, Stefan. Sorry, I don't know. It's Philippa here. I am still struggling with my verification. I've contacted support. I've sent them information. They're not accepting my ID or my driver's license.
That is extremely funny. Did they respond on your contact with them on the customer support?
Yes, they have. So I'm just liaising with them at the moment. But yeah, just letting you know.
Tell them that is a legal document. They took mine, so there's no reason why they can't take your document. Just keep on talking to them. Is there anybody else who is not yet registered? Okay, who is registered and not yet funded? Is everybody else funded? All right. Bernadette, okay, you must still fund yourself. We'll get to use. Mel must still be funded. Some of the platforms is busy running at a reasonable pace. I will, as I go through, Estelle is not funded yet. Looks like Sia is not funded. Get your money together and get your first $100 in here. People, you can't earn affiliate commission or bonus if you're not funded. You must have your first $100 in. I can help one person at a time very soon, but not yet. Andre, you must get yourself registered, get your money together. I will in future help people. At this stage, I'm still busy getting money together on ErgoPartners. Like you've seen on my profile, my balance is now 1,300. Once that goes up to a decent amount, then I can easily every few days assist one or two persons. Okay, Sia says profile is funded. Right. Now, the next thing that we're going to do, I'm going to hand over to Elton. Elton, I made you co-host. Elton developed a beautiful spreadsheet to look at the long-term, I think it works up to 10 years, long-term effects of reinvesting. Elton, you can share your screen and explain how your spreadsheet works like.
Thanks, Stefan. I'm just going to find my, there you go, the screen share. So I have done a couple of updates on the spreadsheet since the first time I shared it, and I added a few more options to it today again. So just let me know as soon as you can see that.
Yeah, it's visible. Elton, before you continue,
Yes.
I looked at the spreadsheet with Elton, and I don't have the time to go through every cell and check if everything is 100%. Elton published it. A few people picked up a few calculations, and Elton then also had a few changes. I suggested a change of the withdrawal fee that wasn't in. A spreadsheet is always a work in progress. So if you do find that something doesn't work like it's supposed to work, contact Elton so that he can look at it and advise you why it is like it, or either then if it is a real error, then fix it. Right, there you go, Elton. You can explain to us what's going on here.
Thank you. So I'm happy to make any edits or adjustments that anybody suggests. I'm sure there are people that are much better at putting spreadsheets together than I am. So this is, as Stefan says, a work in progress. But the very basics of it, and I have included some text on each of these spreadsheets on the side. So the spreadsheet, I've got the 12-month cycle and the 9-month cycle, but there's a short description. This particular one works on a 12-month cycle. It assumes that you will reinvest your capital once it gets paid out every 12 months, and it excludes staking. So on this particular one, the cell that you would adjust first is going to be B2. And if you went in there with your minimum investment of $100, it does all the calculations for you going forward. It will tell you which portfolio you're going to be invested in. It will automatically tell you what your percentage is of earning. It will calculate your average monthly ROI at average of 21.75 working days per month. That's going to vary by a couple of cents every month, but this is just to give you a ballpark of where you're going to be. And it will then give you your accumulated funds of what you're going to be earning every month. So what this then does, one of the first comments we got was that we could only reinvest once we reached $100 again. So I had to adjust that so that we could have our accumulated funds go to reinvestment. So you'll see we have month on month, we have $100 that comes here until we get to $108 of accumulated funds. That then gets added to your portfolio. So you've got $208. And then it starts calculating your monthly ROI from that again. Sorry, your monthly ROI from that again. I was a little bit scrolled down there. It then once again starts accumulating your ROI. So it minuses the 108 from your next accumulation because now you've obviously reinvested that. It starts down at 32 again. You'll accumulate again until you add $100 or more. It then puts it in the reinvest column, minuses from the accumulation column, but adds it to your portfolio value. And it carries on doing this until the end of time if you want to have the spreadsheet go on for that long. This particular spreadsheet then assumes that in month 13, you're going to be reinvesting your original $100. So it doesn't subtract your $100 from month 13. It just takes it and automatically adds it back. And then off you go. Once you exceed $400 as a portfolio value, you're going to jump to the next earning percentage. You're going to then carry on with your accumulated funds until every time you have $100 or more, it goes to reinvest and then kicks over. Eventually from month 17, you're earning $100 or more per month, and you're reinvesting every month from that point forward. I know it's very nice to look at the 10-year totals and see the massive number that's at the end, but for me personally, I'm looking at this from 3 years onwards, or sort of where would we be if this was a 5-year investment. So 5 years is 60 months. If we take nothing out of it for 5 years, in 60 months, your portfolio value should be in the region of $2.9 million. That's if you don't take a single cent out and you reinvest your capital every time it comes available for reinvestment. Another plan that I looked at was to be able to take out a certain percentage after or at the beginning of the 3rd cycle, which would be at the beginning of year 3. So if you want to make any adjustments on that, you just click on the percentage option over there. You can make that 20%, and that then automatically calculates how much you could take, 20% of your monthly ROI. It tells you what you have left over. That then is going to go to the reinvest column and get reinvested back into your portfolio. It then also calculates for you what you would take out of that on a 12-month basis. So you can just see the way that that grows and the effect that that has on your future earnings and the percentages that you're going to make. There's also an option to include additional funds. So one of the plans that I thought of was to potentially include $100 from month 2 onwards. until my portfolio value reached $600. So that, if you keep adding the $100, you'll see it adjust these figures here, and it adjusts your portfolio value. So now when I'm sitting at a portfolio value of $706, I'm at the point where my earnings per month is $112, and now Ergo can pay for its own $100 additional investments per month for me going forward. At 60 months, where the previous one was then sitting at 2.9, now it sits at 69 because you've done compounding very early and you've grown it very early. It's quite interesting to play around with this, that if you had to say, okay, if I put in those 5, that extra, what's that, 1, 2, 3, extra $400 over there, at 60 months, that would be my compounded earning. If I had to take that out of there and add those $400 in the year before, so you're adding exactly the same as what you would have right in the beginning. Because you haven't been compounding for so long, you're only sitting at 2.9. So it shows the importance of doing your compounding as early in the process as you can, dependent on how long your investment cycle is going to be. So this could be anything you want it to be. You could change that to whatever number you want to be. You could add additional funds there if you want to. Source of funds isn't compulsory to enter, but that could be where you can say, look, this is where I got the money from. My plan is to take earnings from UFarm and put them into Ergo. So I would more than likely put UFarm, bank account, savings account, whatever it is over there. That's if you're going to do any withdrawals, you can just copy the formula from these cells over here and drag it up if you want to do withdrawals from year 1 and year 2. Ad hoc withdrawals is anything where you may go, geez, you know, I've got $400 available and I need to take 280 out because I've got to, you know, I don't know, paint the inside of the house or do something like that. So you could do an ad hoc withdrawal, which is then going to adjust these figures here. The reason for the withdrawal is also only for your own record keeping. You don't have to fill anything in there, but it's nice to know what you took money out for. And then off you go. And that's how it works. So my personal plan on this one is to start with $200. I'm going to have a corn farm on UFarm from the beginning of August. And what I'm going to do then is add my earnings from that into here. For the first 4 or 5 months. Then by that time, I'm earning $320 a month. I can start taking out of there what I want, or I can then just let that grow. But then that just helps me calculate and see where I'm going to be in 5 years' time, where I'm going to be in 3 years' time. And then if I start saying, okay, I want to take out 30% per month from the beginning of year 3, that would then calculate to $2,400 a month that I can take out there to 833, and off we go. So that's the first spreadsheet, and that's assuming that you haven't withdrawn your capital, that you reinvest your capital every time it becomes available for reinvestment. The next spreadsheet is if you are withdrawing your capital. So let's say we start here on $100. It then does all the similar calculations that it does. You end up with 108 like you would have on the first one, 128 like you would have on the first one. But in month 12, your $100 original investment pays out and you don't reinvest it. So that then stays in the total kept for 12 months. And that's just basically, it's picking it up from your original investment there. Then at that stage over there in your first cycle, you had reinvested $108. So now what the system does is it looks at it and it goes 12 months later, you're going to keep $108 out. There where you reinvested your 128, you're going to keep 128 out. And eventually, because you're going to be at the point where you're reinvesting every month, you're going to get to a point where every month you're getting a capital payout that you're going to keep because you're not reinvesting. Nice thing to look at over here is if we make this $100 again, we delete those, so everything is equal at 60 months. Let me take a look here. Yep, reinvest. Yep. Okay. At 60 months, if we only have $100 and we haven't put anything additional in, you're then looking at a value of $203,000. If we go here and we've put in $100, but we're taking out our capital every time it becomes available, you're looking at a value of $67,000. So once again, it just shows you the impact of either leaving your capital in or taking your capital out when it becomes available. That's once again entirely up to however your investment plan is going to be. Then there's just the 9-month cycle. The 9-month cycle for reinvesting principal, you're going to get exactly the same numbers as you get on the 12-month cycle. It's just your withdrawal cycle for cycle 3 starts a bit sooner, but the numbers themselves are all going to be the same. It's just these intervals that have changed, and when you're going to start withdrawing, if you want to withdraw from cycle 3. And then one of the bigger impacts is if you're going to be withdrawing your capital every 9 months. So if we do exactly the same thing here and we put in $100, but every 9 months we're taking our capital out and not reinvesting it, when we get to month 60 over here, that's how much you're going to have, $2,596 portfolio value versus $67,000 on the 12-month plan if you're removing your capital, or $203,000 on the 12-month plan if you're reinvesting your capital for those first 5 years. So this is, I think it's a decent spreadsheet to show people the impact that either withdrawing or leaving capital is going to have, or adding additional funds or doing ad hoc withdrawals. I'd like for somebody to take a closer look at everything and let me know if my numbers add up or if there are any adjustments that need to be made. The link for it is on the group. And if I can just ask, because I've noticed people shouldn't be able to access this spreadsheet, but I've noticed a couple of people have managed to do it with a link I shared. But when you click on the link and I give you sharing access with it, this is the page that you should see. Just click on make a copy, and that's then going to add a copy of the spreadsheet to your Google Drive. And then you can mess around with it as much as you can without making any adjustments to this one here. As the spreadsheet gets modified or gets improved, I'll just notify the group, and then you guys just go back, click that link, and download the new version of the spreadsheet as you're going on. And that's it. That's what we got so far on that.
Good, thank you for that. You can clearly see there, if you look at, we want to create a sort of a pension for us. You look at big companies, I'm talking about South African companies like Old Mutual, Sanlam, and you look at the amounts that they predict they can pay out, they work it on low percentages, 12% a year, 16, 17% a year. And then you look at what they really make, and ErgoPartners paying us a very constant low percentage. And that is what Old Mutual bare minimum makes out of you. You put in $100 a month, or even just $100, you can just imagine what they end up with. And they give you a small, very small percentage of that. Right, is there any questions for Elton?
Sorry. Thank you very much for the spreadsheet. It's Philippa here. Thank you for the spreadsheet. I missed it, but where do we get the link, Elton?
I'll share it again on the group. Yeah, Stefan, maybe it's worth pinning the link to the top of the group too. And then I'll actually make an updated video for the group with these new additions that I've made. I'll make a little video later on that I can send you as well to pin to the group.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this. It's an amazing spreadsheet.
Other questions or comments for Elton? Right. Use the spreadsheet. There was a lot of work put in here. And thanks, Elton, for that. You can now go play on the spreadsheet if you use it and play with the different numbers. Where I started with a small amount and then slowly increase it. If you enter now, let's say I put 1,300 in the startup column, you can just go check to try to do that and see where I end up in 2 or 3 or 4 years on ErgoPartners. For the people that's not funded, I will assist very soon to get you funded. At this stage, I'm still getting money together to do that. Doesn't mean you mustn't start saving up on your own. There's somebody that I'm helping today who did save a little bit on their own, and I'm putting the rest of the needed funds in. You must show me that you are doing your part as well. Right, any other questions? Anybody got a question for Peter? Peter is my upline. He's on here as well. Peter, hello.
Hello, Stefan. It's very well, the spreadsheet from Elton. Thanks for sharing it. It's a beautiful
Anybody?
job. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
It is beautiful. Right, who's got
Hello,
questions for Peter? Or are we going to give him a break today?
Stefan, Andre, no question for Peter, just a comment. Thank you, Elton, for that spreadsheet. That's definitely one of my missions is to build a pension. So I don't have a pension. The question that I have is, if I would like to do that for my mother, am I allowed to be her account manager and run that? How does a person go about that? So it will be a separate account.
Yeah, you'll have to do KYC with her documentation.
Okay, we can do that. That's fine. I'm going to just get myself going first, and then we can start with it. Thank you, Stefan.
Okay, good. Yeah, you can, as long as she does her own KYC, you must use her documentation. All right, any other questions? We don't want to sit on a Zoom call the whole day. I've got another few calls later on today. Any other questions? Good, then I'll see you all again next week, Thursday at 3 o'clock. Maybe Peter or Francis is on can do a withdrawal for us, or I may be having my available balance so that I can do a reinvestment and maybe another withdrawal. Have a good week. See you next week, Thursday. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you. Thank you, Elton.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Peter. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.